I want you, if you can, to talk about what happens when there is unresolved grief,
Mm.
right? Like
Uh,
what happens to a person? What can happen to a person if there is unresolved grief within them?
yeah, unresolved grief is really tricky. Um, Especially because, I've talked so much and we've talked so much in this whole podcast so
Mm-hmm.
far about like the love that you've had for this person. But what if
Mm-hmm.
you had a bad relationship with this
Yeah.
person? What
Yeah.
if this was like a parent you didn't get along with and then they passed away,
Yeah.
and then suddenly you're in this like now your grief process is not so much on top of the fact that you've lost someone, a father, that you name, it's also now parsing through the anger that you never
Mm-hmm.
got to express or never got to talk through with
Yeah.
that person. That can make that so complex. It can make that very complex. It's saying like I've had all these things that I've never got to tell them and I'm never going to be able to tell them. So a
Right.
lot of times, and then that's just one example, there's countless other complex like
Mm-hmm.
unresolved grief examples, but
Right.
that's just one. And a lot of the work then that you would be doing at that point when you're working with someone who's going through that is maybe we need to go ahead and have that angry conversation that you never
Yeah.
had. All of a sudden we turn the session into you're talking to them. Let's make it happen now. Let's make it
Mm-hmm.
like have the conversation or have the things that
Mm-hmm.
you never got to resolve. Let's try to find that resolving now. It's not
Right.
easy and it's
Mm-hmm.
still very, very painful and it does take time. But I think it's so essential to be able to do that. When it's not done, when we don't resolve this grief, it could really eat us from the inside out. The what ifs, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but you know what? Like, I should feel better than like
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have that close a relationship with them anyway, or I shouldn't be so upset, or those start coming in, and it could really increase a lot of like depressive symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. It can lead just to a spiral of just many different things when you're not able to resolve that grief. And so being able to just discuss that, talk about the fact
Yeah.
that if we never had that opportunity or something, that even in itself could be so life changing. So trying to work through that resolution of grief is so essential, and leaving it unresolved will just, it could be detrimental.